Well, hello, 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 everybody. Welcome to Real News Live on this beautiful Wednesday, the 21st. Only 4 days till Christmas. You have no sound. That is probably your end. You might want to turn up your microphone. You have no sound. Everybody else should be able to hear me just fine. How you guys all doing tonight, though? We definitely appreciate you being here. Hi, Brian. Hi, Brenda. Hi, Debbie. Hi, Sandra. Hi, Richard. Hi, Hank. Hi, Debbie. Hi, Jeff. Hi, everyone. How you guys doing tonight? You guys are all having a great night, though. A lot going on out there in the world. Of course, we're waiting still for the verdict to come down on this asylum seeking restriction to end. Waiting on this, of course, we've been waiting on it all day. Still haven't heard anything about it. As thousands or hundreds of thousands of migrants are waiting at the border as we speak. Hi, Glenda. Hi, Jeff. El Paso migrants along the border of the U.S. with Mexico sought shelter from the cold early Wednesday as we waited for the Supreme Court ruling on whether the restriction that prevented many from seeking asylum in the U.S. would lift. We're still waiting on that as we speak. Of course, the pandemic era limits on border crossings has been slated to expire Wednesday. The federal government opposed an effort by some conservative-leaning states to keep them in place. But hours before they were to end, the Biden administration asked the court not to remove them before Christmas. So this is really weird, the situation we're in right now. The Biden administration asking them not to remove them before Christmas. I do not understand the reasoning why. This is the situation we're in right now. As we know, there's hundreds of thousands of people waiting at the border to just jump into the country. Maybe they're waiting for after Christmas because the disruption of what's happening around the country has become astronomical. I mean, the U.S. today is releasing stockpile medications for flu across the nation as cases increase and medicine becomes harder to find. The Biden administration said it released dosage of prescription flu medication from the strategic stockpile to states as sick and flu patients continue to flock to hospitals and doctors' offices around the country. This year's flu season has hit hard and early. Some people are noticing the bare shelves at pharmacies and grocery stores when they may get run for over-the-counter medications as cases have spiked. The Center for Disease Control and Prevention estimates that the flu has resulted in approximately 150,000 hospitalizations and 9,000 deaths so far this season. So, jurisdictions will be able to get support when they need to keep Americans healthy as the flu cases rise this winter. It's going to be worse as we go through this winter. And states will be able to request doses of prescription medications like Tamiflu kept in the strategic reserve stockpile. Why is it in the strategic reserve? And why do we have to release it? And why did we wait so long? That's the big questions. Because we knew the flu was already hitting hard, medications were already short in stockpiles, and antiviral meds were not being released. But now, all of a sudden, they wait to release them. I mean, last week, the federal government announced it would allow states to dip into statewide stockpiles of Tamiflu. Why wait until it gets too bad? That's again another way our government does to just hold us back and try to keep us at bay. Controlling the ability to access medications that are necessary to treat common colds and sickness is ridiculous. Federal government should have no place in that and restricting it. Next pandemic is probably going to be coming out of China soon. Case counts of COVID there are on the rise because they locked down everything, and they're afraid a new variant will come out of China soon. Very much different than anything we've seen so far. Cases in children and just COVID cases are climbing as well. RSV viruses are having a nasty spike. The shortage of over-the-counter pain medications and medications have been reported to stores around the country, particularly for children. Of Of course, it's working with states to keep on-demand medications in stock. Drug makers like Johnson & Johnson reporting production times are running around the clock without being able to keep up. Of course, how much of that's going directly into stockpile and not allowing it to go anywhere? CVS Health, for example, is placing 2 product limit on all children's pain relieving products, bought through its pharmacy or online. Walgreens is limiting customers to 6. This is ridiculous. 6 purchases of over-the-counter fever medication products. This is a problem. Why are we allowing people to buy 6 of something when it takes 1 to treat something? Yeah, idiots follow the science and make something new. Food and Drug Administration has not reported shortages of Tamiflu. However, the federal agency says prescription antibiotics like amoxicillin is in extremely short supply due to increased demand. How is amoxicillin, a medication we've had for hundreds of years now, in short supply? It's one of the easiest medications to produce and reproduce and get to the citizens. Yet we're facing these issues. It is sad. Recession fears are growing, and what a downturn could look like is going to be awful. Inflation pushes the Feds to slash demand and risk a downturn. I mean, recession fears are growing, even as households strained by inflation begin to find some relief. The dynamic capture between the confusion of states and the U.S. economy and the Federal Reserve aggressively fighting inflation with interest rate hikes that are aimed at slashing prices by slowing demand and risking a recession. And fixing one problem, the central bank is going to create another. Economists surveyed by Bloomberg and, of course, other channels say recession of 2023 is at 70%. 70% risk of a recession. Hi, Alex. How you doing tonight? Glad to see you on over here. You can see on YouTube at least. It's crazy. Hi, Josie. Hi, Minnie. It's crazy. Crazy, 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 crazy. Yeah, Lisa with us, Retha. He's just busy at night. But economists, like they're saying, 70% chance of making a recession, marking 10% point increase from October. Projections arrival days after, the latest interest rate hike, which sent the stock market tumbling. I mean, the inflation has prompted federal sustained ongoing hikes and peril the economy rather than risk a deeply entrenched price increase that could prove to be more difficult to reverse. Long term, the Feds are taking aggressive posture and are more likely that the economy will fall into a recession. Even the Feds are admitting this at this point. Sad. Potential of recession is not mild at this point. When comparing to pandemic-induced downturn 2 years ago and the Great Recession, which many Americans make up their go-to points for reference, still those put out of work by a downturn, and the effects would be severe. We know the recession fears are rising, and the potential recession look like. We're looking at a devastating downturn. We're looking at reports last week revealed that the inflation stood a 7.1% inflation still. 7.1% inflation still. You're going to say and recession's not coming? Yeah, the shortages, but the government has a whole bunch of it in stockpile. That's the ridiculous part. Oh yeah, we watched. I heard about this, and I'm talk about this in a second. Zelensky, of course, says Ukraine is alive and kicking as he appealed to Congress for continuing support in his first trip outside the war-torn country since Russia invaded almost a year ago. Zelensky pleaded with U.S. Congress for survival for his people and warned that only a combination of Ukrainian courage and American resolve can defend their democracy, which is ridiculous. We should not be involved in Ukraine at this point, at any point. He's basically saying your money is not charity, it's an investment in global security and democracy that we handle with the most responsible way. But we've seen so many U.S. weapons now and so much U.S. equipment broken down. When the ground freezes, Russia is going to move in and destroy Ukraine. That's not a question. That is not a question. This meeting, of course, with Zelensky trying to make a hard sell for lawmakers as Republicans prepare to take control of the House, where the aid to Ukraine may now face more scrutiny and opposition. Basically saying your decisions can save millions of people's lives. You can save millions of people's lives too, Zelensky. Stop putting your people in the fight, your citizens. Zelensky, of course, hailed as a hero entering the White House chambers by Pelosi and her idiot counterpart, Harris. I'm not going to say that because she is. It's too much. I mean, to even declare Zelensky even near a hero would be ridiculous. Of course, wearing his army green sweater, and Zelensky stood there in the front of the House Speaker Nancy Pelosi and Vice President Harris as the capacity of President of the Senate, preparing to choke up as he looked out, cheering at the cheering lawmakers. This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. This isn't even an allied nation. That's what a lot of people don't understand. Ukraine is not an ally, a U.S. ally. They never were, they never have been. I mean, just a couple months ago, before this happened, Ukraine was looking at the biggest corruption story amongst their whole entire government, including Zelensky. All that disappeared when Russia went in. I mean, Zelensky's to flee Kiev, and Russian forces are going to overwhelm the country in a matter of days. I mean, we could see it happening. They're not a part of NATO. They're not an ally. We're going to send Patriot missiles to them, which is ridiculous. $1.85 billion aid package, including Patriot missiles, that we're sending to Ukraine again. Rolling out funding for the Patriot missile battery as Ukrainian President Zelensky arrived in Washington today. White House announced just hours before Zelensky landed at the Joint Air Force Base at Andrews, just outside the Capitol. The package includes $1 billion in weapons and equipment from the Pentagon stock, including Patriot missiles for the first time, and $850 million of funding through the Ukrainian Security Assistance Initiative. Basically, we're giving them $850 million. You guys don't know what that means. It's critical. Why are we giving them that much money? $850 million in cash. Russia's going to continue its brutal attacks against critical infrastructure. They're going to keep the power out. And they're going to move in the dark. We already know what's going to happen. It's happened before. It's just sad that we're more involved now and funding more of this Zionist, racist, hateful regime that's in Ukraine. I don't like Russia, but let's be honest. Ukraine's not going to be able to defend itself from Russia. Russia has way more weaponry, way more technology. No matter how much we give to Ukraine, it'll never be enough. It is sad watching the citizens of Ukraine suffer, and it's sad watching any citizen suffer. But right now, we are doing nothing more than fighting a war with Ukrainian lives. That's what the United States is doing at this point. We are fighting a war with Ukrainian lives. I'm going to say that again because it's very important for people to understand. We're allowing Ukrainians to die because the United States doesn't want Russia to win. Nothing more. Nothing more. Allowing their citizens to die for our cause. We're talking about sanctions, Russia bomb. Yeah, he'll bomb everybody before he loses. Putin's going to do that. He's not crazy. Russia and Iran, of course, are sailing past sanctions on the trade routes. Iran and Russia and China and India all working together now. Looking at Africa doing the same thing. This is an initiative we're going to have to watch. It's sad. Watching the pressure, of course, that we try to put on Russia do nothing. As Russia's found a way to ally itself with many other nations, including Saudi Arabia, Iran, Turkey, India, China, Africa. We're starting to look like the odd man out. We really are. We've exiled ourselves from all these global trading partners, the other leading countries in the world. Yeah, we're allied with Europe, but what do they produce? What do they actually make? It's a big question. As we're watching what's happening here in the United States and the shortage of things that we need, and we know the prices are going up. Our money's going overseas. For what? We don't know. We're just handing them more money. Sending Patriot missiles, though, to Ukraine is ridiculous, as Patriot missile systems should never be given to a foreign nation. Ever. The administration is sending them there, no problem. No problem. That's what they said. And the surface to air missile, the Patriot MM-104, primary of kinds for the United States and several allies. We talk about this, the Patriot missile, what it's capable of, and how much it. Let's talk about how much it costs per missile, because this is what we're sending them. The SAM system that it's used for costs about, I think it's around $1 million, a little bit more per system. 6 million per system. 56-mile range. I mean, it's not like these are the best of the best, but we're giving them more than they've ever had. Patriot system is an anti-aircraft system, and the thing is, Russia's aircraft are not even seen by our radar systems yet. So what are we going to do? What are Patriot missile systems going to do to take out the new Russian aircraft that are flying overhead and bombing? That's the question. Only question that matters. Challenge everyone to donate $1 tonight if you can or more to go towards the shipping cost, of course, the gifts that went out. Definitely appreciate any donations we receive. Like I said, $1. Less than a cup of coffee when you go out to Starbucks. I mean, spending $4 there, at least. Watching what happened in the world. Got to remember to try to be there for the people in need, families in need. We're blessed. We got to remember that. We are truly blessed. Even our country's in turmoil right now, and we don't know where it's heading. We still have power. We still have heat. Still water. James, I know. If you can't afford it, do not worry about donating that place. Just said Alex. Oh, but yeah, it's crazy out there. It's only going to get crazier. Thank you, Sarah, for $3. Definitely appreciate every penny. God bless you all. When I end up signing off here, I will be back Friday night, Saturday night. I'm not going to be live, but the we'll be live with the fireplace and Christmas music as well. But we will not be actually live on the show on Saturday because that is Christmas Eve. I really guys hope you guys have a wonderful Christmas. I will see you guys Friday though. Closing out the show for Christmas. So good night. God bless you. God bless America. Wish you all well. Hopefully have a happy Christmas. Good night.